there's hope for us all. Our land, where there's hope for us all. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds, and that one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation. Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come, and for generations to come.
Good morning, viewers. You are onto the services of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, the largest African television network, coming to you live from the banquet of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Today, the 8th of April 2021. My name is Aliu Kabir, running the commentary today. The program of today is the presentation of a book titled Aisha Buhari Being Different, authored by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration, Dr. Hajosani, and it is expected to be presented by prominent Nigerians for public consumption. Viewers, sit down and enjoy the rest of the program. Happy viewing.
So, Your Excellencies, shall we all rise now and welcome the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. National anthem, please. While we remain standing, we'll take the national prayer. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help us use the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. And we all say, Amen. Shall we be seated, please? Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, GCON, SAN. Her Excellency, the amazing woman, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chairman of today's occasion, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let me welcome our special guest of honor, Chief Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija. Our royal fathers are here. His Eminence Muhammadu Sa'adu Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto. Let me also welcome His Royal Highness Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi Ooni of Ife. And also here is His Royal Highness King Dr. Ambassador Apollos Chu. I'd like to welcome all our book presenters, and these are cream de la cream of Nigeria's organized private sector. Let me welcome the host, the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs and the FCT, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the author of the book, but let me especially welcome Excellencies, governors that are here, service chiefs and their wives, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Office of the First Lady of Nigeria and the Women and National Development Wand, I welcome all of you to the official public presentation of the book, Aisha Buhari, Being Different. On October 1st, 2021, Nigeria will be 61 years as an independent nation. And in those 61 years, we have had amazing women who have contributed to the evolution of Nigeria. The likes of Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, Margaret Egbo, Ladi Kwali, Jao Aderunke Kale, Professor Grace Alele Williams, Folake Shulanke SAN, Hajia Gambo Sawaba, and Your Excellencies, today we present to you a woman in that pantheon. A woman that has shown us that economic development is strongly elevated when women enter the marketplace. She is a mother. She is a scholar. She is full of package, complete with poise and class. She carries no extra baggage. Like Nigeria, she is the mother of our future. With her, the future of this nation is assured. So, Your Excellencies, I welcome all of you. My name is Ebere Young, and I will not be alone here. I have here a woman that has also made the difference in broadcasting in the last 3 decades, Mrs. Moji Makanjuola.
Thank you very much, Iberi. Your Excellencies all, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellency, the woman of the moment today. As Iberi said earlier, Nigeria is blessed in many ways. One of those ways is human capital, men and women. In so many ways, it is also blessed with resources in abundance. In the middle of such huge blessings, it is usual to want to continue along the same way of doing things because that's how we have been doing it. A much misapplied term. It was Hastings who said that doing things the same way and expecting a different result is madness. Life also always requires a different approach to obtain great results or outcomes. When a person of positive prominence dares to be continually different, the results will be overwhelmingly different. When that person is the mother of the nation, the result will be a runaway success that we positively impact and transform lives. This is so when she dares to be different amidst so very many. This is how we used to say, or this is how we used to do it. The result of that effort can be termed daring to be different. She dares to do things differently. So today, Your Excellencies, all very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are here to see history unfold, a quiet revolution in doing things. Today, we witness the launch of a great work of art, the unfolding of a mother, a woman, patriot, who is being different. Permit me, therefore, on behalf of our nation's mother, to humbly welcome you all to this auspicious event. They say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So, buy the book and read the book. Be different. I welcome all of us here. And as we continue with this program seamlessly, I'd like at this moment to please invite to the microphone the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who will give us the welcome address. Ably represented by the Head of Service, Dr. Folashade Esson.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Chairman of today's occasion, special guests, our royal fathers, state governors here present, very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, would have loved to be here this morning, but unfortunately, he had to be out of the country on an official assignment. And so he has asked me to stand in for him and read his welcome address. So this is the welcome address by Boss Mustafa, the Secretary to the Government. It is a very delightful and humbling experience to be given this rare opportunity to welcome all of us to the public presentation of a book dedicated to the life of a woman who is breaking the frontiers of philanthropy and contributing in no small measure to showing the path for reaching a hitherto unreached and critical component of society. Your Excellency, my sister, confidant of my principal, and the steely and steady keel on which our president can assuredly rely on, I congratulate you for documenting and sharing with Nigerians and indeed the global community your experience as the First Lady to Mr. President. In the first time, you were referred to as the wife of Mr. President, but later you transformed to become the First Lady of the country during the second tenure of Mr. President. Your Excellency's initial use of the title Wife of Mr. President is a classic demonstration of your ability to mirror the global trend of the transition of the role of the First Lady in governance from the traditional to the contemporary realms of socio-economic crusade for supporting Mr. President, and especially focusing on improving the lives of the needy and less privileged. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to also appreciate Dr. Hajo Sani for succinctly capturing Her Excellency's legacy in the pursuit of empowering our women, children, and less privileged. Dr. Sani displayed her mastery of the literary world through a user-friendly and flawless account that makes the book, Aisha Buhari, Being Different, a pleasure to read. I would not want to do the job of the book reviewer, as I am aware that Professor Fatai Aremu is eminently qualified to do a good job. However, this welcome address will not be complete without giving a sneak review of the book that is being presented to the public today. Aisha Buhari, Being Different, gives us an insight into the mind, workings, life, and passions of Her Excellency, the First Lady, and remains one of the greatest advocacy tools for empowering women and the less privileged that I have read in recent times. The book also provides practical suggestions on overcoming institutional challenges for developing the girl child, reminds us of the importance of sustaining the family unit and the role of a supportive husband in facilitating women to achieving their dreams. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady has successfully juggled her career, family life, and community service through the zeal and passion she brings to bear on any endeavor she is engaged in. I particularly recall how Her Excellency galvanized the women and youth during the campaign periods across the country, and she never relented in crisscrossing the country during that same period. It is the same passion of the First Lady, resulting from good habits and attitudes preserved from her early upbringing, that is propelling her work in championing causes for uplifting the downtrodden. Her ability to see life through a prism that clearly escalates the need for more attention to the less privileged is underscored in her pet project, The Future Assured, and her Get Involved programs. As we do this public presentation today, I believe that Aisha Buhari, Being Different, has provided the building block of a framework to guide further systemic study on the relevance and contributions of the office of the First Lady to national development. The book also calls on Nigerians to grant greater autonomy in freeing our women folk from the needless shackles imposed by customs, beliefs, and practices. I hereby wholeheartedly recommend the book to all Nigerians. It is therefore my pleasure to welcome us all to this epoch-making presentation of the book, Aisha Buhari, Being Different, and to state without equivocation that love it or hate it, there can only be one Aisha Buhari. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, the head of the civil service of the Federation. Let me quickly welcome here the wife of the Vice President of Nigeria, Mrs. Dolapo Oshibajo. I welcome you, Your Excellency. And also here is the wife of the former Vice President of Nigeria, Mrs. Namadi Sambo, and the Deputy Senate President, distinguished Senator Ovio Oma Agege, is also here with us. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me now welcome the chairman of today's event, a very accomplished Nigerian, the national leader of the APC, and who just a few days ago also had his birthday. Congratulations, Your Excellency. As I welcome him here, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, ably represented by the Chief of Staff, His Excellency the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Her Excellency First Lady Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellency, wife of the President, Mrs. Dolapo Osinbajo, members of the Senate here present, distinguished members of the House of Representatives, Your Excellencies, the governors, I could see the the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum there, distinguished senators, guests of honor, our own sister, Chief Mrs. Faronsho Alakeja, Honorable Minister for Home Affairs, Dame Pauline Talley, the Honorable Ministers here present, the Book Reviewer, Your Eminence, Kabiyesi Alayeluwa, Ooni of Ife, and Your Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, and many other of our royal fathers here present. I want to thank the organizers for selecting me to be the chairman of the launch of this excellent book about a truly remarkable woman, First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Join me in congratulating the book's author, Dr. Ajo Sani, for making this important contribution to our collective knowledge by highlighting the role the First Lady has played in our society. The author treated this task with a straightforward literary style, but also with a depth of analysis of a book of this nature. Given the First Lady's achievements, no one can reasonably question the role of a First Lady any longer. Remember, there was those who argued that the Constitution does not assign any official role to the First Lady. Because of Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, their concerns have been forever laid to rest. First Lady has played an uplifting, unifying role both in symbol and substance. She has been the voice of conscience, calling us to be of our better selves for the good of the nation and for the vulnerable among us. As such, she has been a strong pillar of support, not only for the President, but also to the Nigerian people with whom she both served with such patriotic commitment and high purpose. The role of the First Lady is instrumental to our society and how a great number of our people relate to government. Custom and tradition may call her to her in a certain way. Yet, the issue of the day may call her in another. First Lady Aisha Buhari has done a masterful job melding the cause of tradition and the imperatives of today into a creative, benevolent role that has enriched society and the art of governance. Many political thinkers argue the state or country is nothing but a social extension or evolution of the family. As such, if the president is the father of the national family, the spouse becomes the mother of that family at the same time. The First Lady of Nigeria is a title, but also by virtue of her talent and temperament. The role of First Lady provides critical support to the public functioning of the presidency. The author thus must be commended not just for documenting the background, education, career, family and public life of Mrs. Buhari in an enjoyable, easily readable manner, but also in narrating the political and constitutional context which Mrs. Buhari has molded the position of the First Lady in Nigeria. The book will be a vital read to future historians and future generations who seek to understand the evolution of the Nigerian presidency, as well as for those interested in the progress of women's rights and empowerment in our land. Against this backdrop, the title of this book, Being Different, is more than appropriate. Indeed, it may be the only title that fits. A human being of deep conviction and feelings, she is more than passionate about her husband and her family. You can plainly see she loves them deeply. This deep feeling extends to a love of our country. From the very onset, Aisha was totally committed to ensuring the success of the campaign of then candidate Buhari and later to the success of the administration of President Buhari. She has a naturally strong connection with the average person because she speaks with sincerity and belief. We noticed this very early during the historic 2015 campaign. Thus, we convinced her to play a vocal role and visible role in the groundbreaking campaign. Our effort contributed to her husband's success, no doubt. She helped him to make history during that campaign. Since coming to the office of the First Lady, she has not stopped making history. She has been an active and dedicated voice to those whom society sometimes forgets. She gives comfort to the broken and seeks relief for the destitute. No one can doubt her concern and her care for the well-being of women, children, and the powerless. She has established the standard for the office of First Lady for years to come. Mrs. Buhari shows that a First Lady should not stand aloof and detached from what is happening in the country. Mrs. Buhari never shies from what she believes in. She's been a reliable and true advisor to her husband. No doubt that Mr. President's administration has been enriched because of the active role and the teamwork that exists between husband and wife. As I conclude, may I restate that this book is an excellent discourse on the office of the First Lady. It is a fine book on the unique contribution of women to the life of the nation. Most importantly, it is a superb exposition of the life and times of Her Excellency Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Being different, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari has reached the highest of heights, yet she has not allowed this to change her or turn her back on those needs. Being different, she has effortlessly melded impeccable style with intelligent substance, melded gracefully with gravitas, melded public image with principle idealism. Being different, she has carved a new path, a path not just for herself, but for one another and other women to follow and admire. The more that people follow her lead, the better. More just and more compassionate this nation shall become. And this is being different. Then so, if this is being different, then so be it. On behalf of all gathered here, as well as tens of millions of Nigerians whom you have touched, I say thank you, First Lady for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, for your invaluable contribution to the nation. God bless you all, and may God bless our great Nigeria.
God bless you too, sir. He understands the concept of being different because in all his political life, he has remained different. Shall we put our hands together one more time for the chairman of today's event, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? We say thank you so very much to you. Let me welcome here the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. We welcome you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the 61 years of our history, Nigeria has been blessed with amazing first ladies. Who will forget Mrs. Flora Azikiwe, Victoria Gowon, Miriam Babangida, Miriam Abacha, and the lady that just walked in here, Mama Peace, Mrs. Patience Goodluck Jonathan. Today, Nigeria is celebrating one of their like, an amazing woman, an amazing first lady, like our chairman said earlier, that truly cares for women, children, and other vulnerable groups. And so very quickly, we'll be moving into the goodwill messages. We want it to be short, maximum 2-3 minutes, and we'll be starting with the FCT minister represented here by the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Adeshola Olushade.
The Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, and his wife, Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the woman of the moment, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, the Senate President, ably represented, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Senate President, who is present in person, members of the National Assembly, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who is represented by my boss, the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, the Chairman of the occasion and the National Leader of the APC, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, who has just delivered a very eloquent speech, the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, Ambassador Professor Ibrahim Gambari, their Excellencies, the Governor of the States and their spouses, the Honorable Ministers here present, the Sultan of Sokoto, the Oni of Ife, and other royal fathers present, distinguished invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am here by circumstance today to represent my Honorable Minister, Malam Muhammad Musa Bello, who had wanted to be here in person, but because of the exigencies of office and the need to attend to other pressing national assignments, he has not only sent his speech, he also directed I should convey his goodwill message on his behalf. In the same vein, the Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, the right-hand person of the Honorable Minister, should also have been here. But as we are talking, she's on her way to represent the country, particularly the FCT, in our national assignment. So with this development, the responsibility naturally falls on me at this great event to represent the two of them. I thank you for the honor. It is indeed a very great pleasure, as the Honorable Minister said, for him to be here by my humble self this morning as a co-host of this very auspicious occasion. Being the public presentation of the book, Aisha Buhari, Being Different, written in honor of our dear First Lady, Her Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Permit me to begin by welcoming you all to Abuja, our beautiful capital city of unity. I welcome especially the leaders of our great party, captains of industry, our royal fathers, and most especially the very many Nigerian women who have gathered here in solidarity with a lady who without doubt has been an inspiration to them all. The Nigerian woman is an embodiment of resilience, hard work, intelligence, and elegance, all virtues which characterize our amiable First Lady. It is therefore not a surprise that this book was written by another special Nigerian lady who has for years worked very closely with Dr. Aisha Buhari and perhaps knows her more than many will ever do. I therefore wish to most sincerely congratulate Dr. Hajo Sani, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs, Office of the First Lady, for the inspiration to put her thoughts and knowledge of the First Lady to paper with the intention that all readers of this book will learn something positive from it. It is indeed to her credit that she found the time to write this book in addition to the discharge of her many duties, and I hope that it will make a valuable addition to resource material on the life and times of Nigerian women of this age. It gladdens my heart, therefore, to join all the dignitaries here present to present this literary work to the Nigerian Republic. I urge everyone gathered here to lend their support to the publication. I thank you for your valued attention, and may God bless us all. Amen.
Excellency, too. Our regards to the Honorable Minister of FCT. Thank you very much. Let me quickly establish this, that because of time, when we come here to speak, we should just overlook the protocols and just go straight to it. And let's make our goodwill messages a minute max, 2 minutes. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, next to speak to us is the Senate President, and I'm very sure the Deputy Senate President that is here, distinguished Senator Ove Omagege, will be doing that honor on behalf of the Senate President. Your Excellency, please.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellency, Chief Celebrant, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Frankly, I had come here in my own right, but I've just been told that you stand in for my boss, the President of the Senate. For that reason, there is no prepared remarks. The good news is I've just been given 2 minutes, so that will just suffice. Let me say this. It was Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of Britain, who once said when asked, "How do you think history will treat you?" And his response was, "History will be kind to me. That is because I'll be the one writing that history." Today, our chief celebrant, I congratulate you because you've told the path of Winston Churchill in documenting your roles and your contributions, not just to this government, but to our country. We are happy that with what you have done, you've become an inspiration to our daughters and indeed all of the young women in this country. So once again, I want to thank the author who took time to sit with our amiable First Lady to put these thoughts in writing. I join the chairman of the occasion and others who have spoken before me in presenting this book to the country. Like her, a lot of us also dare to be different. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You tried by doing 2 minutes. We are looking at 1 minute per person. Let me welcome here the chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, the governor of Ekiti State, His Excellency Dr. Kayode Fayemi.
Well, since I have 2 minutes, let me adopt the already established protocol. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here on behalf of all my colleagues. Many of them are actually physically present here, but not all of us are. We would have all wished to be here in person because of the very fond relationship that we have with Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic. If you're looking for the voice for the voiceless, if you're looking for the defender of the defenseless, if you're looking for candor, for courage, for commitment and compassion, you have no other place to go than in the direction of Our Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic, Dr. Aisha Buhari. Yes, sometimes that candor may appear in the manner of indiscretion. Some might even argue that when you are in this gilded cage, otherwise known as the presidency, you are not supposed to be seen to say some things. But I think it's in that candor that we have authenticity of our First Lady. And that is what endears her to majority of Nigerians. That's also what being different is about. I got this book about 2 weeks ago when the author came to invite me to this event. And I had to finish it the day I got it because it was unputdownable. But what it also demonstrates to me is that this is volume 1 of a much longer story. It's the part of the story that tells us who our First Lady is, the role that she's played in the struggle, a very long and tortuous struggle to get her husband to the seat of the presidency of Nigeria. And when some people say, oh, why is she speaking? Why does she defend the defenseless? Why does she demonstrate courage of conviction? I would advise that they go and read this book and see the role she played in the process leading up to the presidency itself, particularly in the aftermath of the 2003 unsuccessful voyage to the presidency and the subsequent efforts in 2007 and 2011, how she mobilized a very weak and tired supporters and built the movement of our president to the presidency. So for us as governors, we're very proud of her. We're very passionate about her conviction. And at all times, we have always associated ourselves with the giant strides she's making on behalf of all our women, on behalf of all our children, and on behalf of all of us, the people of Nigeria. My colleagues have asked me to make a generous donation to this effort by Dr. Ajosani in the hope that this would lead her to convince Her Excellency to actually speak for herself. She has spoken through many people in this book, and I particularly like Yusuf's comment. I don't have time to go into that. And the part of Yusuf's comment talking about how determined our mother is and how insistent she is if she believes in a cause and how she will see through that cause no matter who else is God, is one that we have all become familiar with in the country. I congratulate our First Lady for being different. I congratulate the author of this book for sharing our knowledge of the First Lady with us. And I encourage all to read this excellent work of history and of feminism. Our First Lady would not describe herself as a feminist, but she is the ultimate feminist in Nigeria today, and I congratulate her. Thank you. God bless you. The package we will communicate, but not here in public. Thank you, ma'am.
His Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, said on behalf of himself and other governors, the donation is generous. Let's give him a generous round of applause. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the former governor of Nasarawa State, now a distinguished senator, Senator Umaru Tanko Al-Makura is here. I would like to invite him to the microphone. 2 minutes, no protocol, straight to the point. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Professor Yomi Osinbajo, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Aisha Buhari, kindly permit me to limit the extent of protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in a rare and special occasion such as this, it is a privilege to be called upon to give a goodwill message. I wish to first of all congratulate the author of this book, Dr. Haji Sani, for successfully bringing out the uniqueness in terms of person, values, and attributes and disposition of our amiable First Lady, Aisha Buhari, which has certainly proved she is positively different. I also congratulate Her Excellency Aisha Buhari for her achievements as a person, as a wife, as a mother, and indeed a unique First Lady, a mother of the nation, whose large-heartedness in salvaging the vulnerable in our society through her various interventions, especially her pet project, Future Assured, has put meaning into the lives of people who had been despondent and to a large extent hopeless. For those of us who are privileged to come close to the First Lady, we can testify, as vividly expressed in this book, to the fact that you are humane, caring, supportive, pragmatic, in different kinds of ways that have added value to the ordinary man and woman, and above all, the nation at large. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are always impressed by your antecedents from a simple, noble background, through dint of hard work, commitment, and perseverance to the pinnacle of leadership as a woman every country would be proud of. I join all the guests here and all Nigerians to congratulate Your Excellency for this outing, and I pray that God will continue to give you the wisdom to carry on the affairs of promoting and adding value to people that are vulnerable and are despondent. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and thank you for keeping to time. I'd like to quickly welcome here His Excellency Dr. Edward Kayon, head of the UN mission in Nigeria, or maybe a representative from the UN family, to deliver his address, his goodwill message. Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to welcome here Mrs. Muji Makanjola.
Thank you very much, Ebere. We're moving on. Your Excellencies, all very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In recent times, Nigerian women have continued to showcase capability, not just nationally, but internationally. And our next speaker with a goodwill message is our own very new Director General, World Trade Organization, Her Excellency, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Can we have the recorded, please? And I think that the House should burst into some measure of excitement, because this is our own.
The launch of her book, Being Different, so ably put together by Haji Sani. Nigerian women are diligent, hardworking. They turn their minds to philanthropy, to professional work, to business, to the farm. Wherever they are, they excel. And we applaud Her Excellency the First Lady for setting an example of what a hardworking Nigerian woman can do. I just want to congratulate you, Your Excellency, and say, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the spirit. Keep up the good work. Next, our own Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Her Excellency Amina Mohammed.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate Her Excellency Hajia Aisha Buhari on the presentation of her biography, Aisha Buhari, Being Different, by Dr. Hajj Hosseini. Her story is an inspiration to women in Nigeria and beyond. The roles and contributions of First Ladies in nation building and development has evolved over the years. We have seen moving beyond accompanying their partners' political ambitions to championing significant development programs, targeting those furthest behind and bringing attention to issues that otherwise would not have received visibility. We commend Her Excellency Hajia Aisha Buhari for modeling women's leadership for young women and girls in their countries and around the world. In sharing her story of being a humanitarian and a global leader, a wife and a mother, with a passion for speaking out against inequality, she demonstrates the value of public service and personal sacrifice. While focused on her role as First Lady, the real message is that each of us in our roles can use our power to influence change and empower others, especially the most vulnerable. I commend Dr. Hajj Hosseini for shaping this legacy product and for her leadership. Finally, the world today needs more women leaders with vision and the courage to lead. I commend Her Excellency Hajia Aisha Buhari for her lifelong work to promote good governance, the rule of law, sustainable development, and gender equality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nigerian women doing us proud globally. We're moving on and we're back home here. At this point, I'd like to invite the Senior Special Advisor to the President on SDGs, Princess Victoria O. Adifuliri. She would address us now. Please, let's welcome her warmly.
Your Excellencies, our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by thanking God Almighty for the gift of life and for the exceptional life and times of our dear mother, our mentor. And let me also appreciate and thank, as I congratulate the author of this book, Aisha Buhari, Being Different, Dr. Hajj Hosseini, OON, for this truly inspirational work. In this book, you have carefully and meticulously documented the beauty and beautiful, interesting life of an extraordinary woman. Amazing. The woman with large heart, very compassionate, very reliable, responsible, passionate, diligent, committed, kind-hearted, and a mother in a million. That is who you are, our dear mother. We love you, we appreciate you, Your Excellency, Hajia Dr. Aisha Gogo Muhammadu Buhari. Indeed, in this book, you have clearly shown how deeply rooted family values and orientation, founded in the fear of God, integrity and service to humanity, can shape and reshape the character of individual in the society. We have read with recollection on how our dear Gogo Aisha then was molded and remolded based on these family values into a exceptional personality that she is today. You have also demonstrated how perseverance and hard work can propel individuals into achieving their full potential. In 10 interwoven chapters and 461 pages, this book, Aisha Buhari Being Different, has chronicled the beautiful life of our amazing. This book will remain inspiration for young women as they aspire to inspire and to achieve their full potentials irrespective of their present socio-economic status. It will certainly guide our researchers and students of history on methodological approaches to historical documentation. As this is not a speech-making event, but to congratulate and appreciate as we celebrate our dear mother, the mother in a million. The celebration of extraordinary woman. Let me conclude this good message by praying to God Almighty to continue to bless you, guide you, and protect our mother, the distinguished First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Hajia Dr. Aisha Muhammad Buhari. Your Excellency, as you age with grace, may the Almighty God grant you all your heart desires and all-round peace in the name of Jesus. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you a very successful outcome. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. Did I hear a loud amen in prayers? Okay, we're moving on. At this point, there's going to be a short video documentary on the pet project of the 15th First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Dr. Muhammadu Buhari, please just let me say a little that I know about Future Assured before you watch the video. I have had an insight of working as a consortium with Future Assured, and what I notice is the accountability and transparency that has been shown to the world with this pet project of our First Lady. And so I'd like you to watch a little of what our Future Assured has been able to do over the years, but most importantly, mending hearts, meeting the poor, ensuring that children that are malnourished are taken care of. Just a bit of what she does with Future Assured. Let's watch the video.
Excellency Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari is somebody who is very passionate in helping people in terms of giving humanitarian support. Her Excellency decided to focus her attention there, mainly to help the women and children.
Her Excellency Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari deems it appropriate and necessary to complement the efforts of government. This is in view of the growing need of assistance by these underprivileged and vulnerable groups.
Education Empowerment Program, YEEP, launched by the wife of the President, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is meant to intervene in the area of educational support to increase for youths the chances of entry into tertiary institutions of learning. YEEP also trains youths to develop writing, communication, and public speaking skills.
We were taught how to write curriculum vitae, how to write resumes, how to attend interviews.
Mrs. Buhari also presented science laboratory equipment for the use of science beneficiaries. With these initiatives, the face of education is set to change in the not-too-distant future.
The last time I wrote JAMB, I was not able to get up to 200, it was 190 something. But with the help of the program, I was able to get 224.
Due to the program, I wrote my JAMB and I scored 210, and I'm very happy about that because of the program was fantastic.
I'm saying a very big thank you to her, and I wish that we have more leaders that will help our youth as she have done.
Another round of applause. I spoke to you about transparency and accountability, and that's what we saw in that short video clip. At this time, another entertainment, a spoken word by Mariam Bukar Hassan would also come to your screens. Can we have that, please?
Being different comes with a price. In a world so glorious of a system that stifles the girl who shines, cages her until she becomes a broken record, married to a silence of secrets, one dares not speak, like life is not meant for breath. But today is a day of a future assured, carried on the back of a mother, this queen carrying the cries of her nation to the promised land. She brings forth a land laced in marvel, grace sifting through the mesh of equality, with inclusion in measured grains. This is the world for me. A future of dreams she brings, night after day. Watch it come true beneath the moon, the stars and the sun affirming it, with liberation at the vine of its roots, dancing in space. The future will unfold in stardust, little white sands of hope, packed through generations inspired by her shine. Oh, an explosion of stars, resting in the space of her legacy. Just like today, as the future comes, emboldened in this book, venerating God's magnificence in you, writing down a life well lived, a name as resounding as an echoing song of success, a sizzling sound of victory, as soft as a mother's eyes, redefining what it means to be different.
Her touch on humanity is so outstanding that it takes a poet to talk about it. Let me quickly recognize and say thank you to the governors who are here. His Excellency Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, Governor Yahya Bello of Kogi, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, Mr. Simon Lalong of Plateau, Maya Malabuni of Yobe, Honorable Cecilia Ezeiko, Deputy Governor in Enugu State. We say thank you to you, all of you, for coming.
We would, actually the spoken word comes in two series. You've watched series 1, let's now watch the concluding series. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, wife of the Vice President, Your Excellencies all here present, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and of course our royal fathers ably represented here. Our next speaker is the author herself, Hajia Sani, a writer, a dreamer, a woman who believes that all you need to do is open up potentials. The woman, the Nigerian woman, will get to where she is supposed to be. In her mid-30s, she served as Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Secretary General of the West African Women Association, Director with Society for Family Health, an international public health non-governmental organization committed to empowering women to live healthier lives. Dr. Hajia Sani is currently the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs in charge of the Office of the First Lady. She effectively discharged her duties diligently. Her dedication to serve humanity earned her several recognitions and awards nationally and internationally, including the National Award Officer of the Order of Niger, OON. Besides official relationship, Dr. Hajia Sani has enjoyed a tremendous personal relationship with Dr. Aisha Buhari, spanning over 3 decades, which eminently qualifies her to write about her in doing this book. She has brought her impressive writing passion and commitment on the worth of womanhood on display as she presents Aisha Buhari to the world in a way that is remarkably unique. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies all, please welcome with me my sister, Dr. Hajia Sani.
Your Excellencies, our distinguished invited guests, the chairman of the occasion of this event, our national leader, APC, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I must thank you sincerely for creating time to hear your promise, and today you fulfill your promise. I thank you so much. Representative of the governors here, wives of governors, traditional rulers here, ladies and gentlemen, members of the National Assembly, I'm just finding it difficult to look around and extend my heartwarming appreciation to see everybody in this hall. Somebody asked me this morning, how do I feel? I found it difficult to describe how I feel, and right now how I feel. But I will say I feel great. Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my sister, my boss, they are here because of you, because you gave me the opportunity to write this book on you, without which nobody will be here. It is therefore with utmost humility that I start by expressing my sincere appreciation to everybody that is here and for finding time to be part of this memorable occasion. The public presentation of the book I authored
Aisha Buhari being different. The writing of this book on such a high-level personality that has been part of my life for over 3 decades is one of my greatest achievements. This book is my first attempt in writing a biography significantly different from issue-based writing as in my 3 previous published books. Biographies requires due diligent research on factual historical data, reconstruction of life history, and verification of its accuracy. Additionally, the book captures relevant issues on women and women development process, including first ladyship being reflected in the personality of Aisha Buhari. I would not have achieved the ultimate goal of writing this book without the divine guidance from the Almighty Allah. At this point, let me express my gratitude to His Excellency, the President Muhammadu Buhari, for my appointment as Senior Special Assistant, which provided an added impetus for the writing of this book. Significantly, Mr. President graciously wrote the foreword of the book, speaking his mind on the wonderful work of Her Excellency, the First Lady, complimenting the efforts of this administration in bringing succor to the less privileged members of the society. For the central figure, Her Excellency, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, I owe her a debt of gratitude for her interest and belief in my ability to write a book on her. I was highly motivated and encouraged by Her Excellency when I first mooted the idea to embark on this project. Her Excellency, thank you very much. Her Excellency's lifelong passion on women and children, especially in the last 6 years, is significant and has attracted commendation within Nigeria and beyond. Through Fisher Assured Program, under Aisha Buhari Foundation, as a platform for delivery of service, we traverse the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, banking on her leadership to evoke team spirit, share common goals, vision, and putting smile on the faces of those who are underprivileged. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it might interest you to know that in continuation of these sacrifices, a considerable part of the proceeds from this event will support a segment of the Future Assured initiative on youth called Youth Empowerment Education Empowerment Program, YEP, which targets millions of Nigerian youth that are struggling to transit from secondary to tertiary institution. The success of this book largely depended on support of close family members whose contribution provided the required material. I must acknowledge at this point Professor Abdullahi Abba, Her Excellency's uncle. He helped to develop the roadmap and identified key family members that provided important information. Also, Dr. Noura Alkali, her close cousin, also had to travel several times to conduct interviews along with my team of research assistants. I wish to especially acknowledge members of Her Excellency's immediate family members, the children, the brothers, the in-laws, and everybody who has been pushing me to complete this book.
for your understanding, your cooperation in so many ways. Finally, it is important to acknowledge those key people that worked with me assiduously to produce this compendium of knowledge, as well as organizing committee for making this event a success. I may not be able to mention everybody here that have been part of the project. In this regard, I have duly acknowledged your efforts in the book. I hope this book will make its humble contribution to knowledge and open the floodgate for research into First Ladies and First Ladyship, especially in Nigeria. Already, the afternoon session of this event will provide good background information and platform in this regard. In conclusion, having written so many books on a number of issues, including women and development, and now a biography on such a high-level personality, I hope one day I will have the wisdom, the strength to write about myself. I cannot go to my seat without acknowledging one single person who has played a greater role in my life. My sister is now my mother. We are the only two of us living in this world. She's the first of the family. I'm the last. She brought me up from childhood, Hajia Zainab Maina. I think she's here. I thank you very much.
She is the engine room, the head of service, and the chief of staff of the office. Her work has been firmly established because of her background as a teacher and as a social worker, who put in 13 years of her life working for the family through the Society for Family Health. Her efforts have been culminated into her appointment as Honorable Minister for Women Affairs. Apart from her work in the office of Her Excellency, she is also the board secretary to Aisha Buhari Foundation and also Future Assured Program. She is a PhD holder, an accomplished publisher. She is an international guru in the affairs of women development. She is an officer of the Order of the Niger OON. Ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, can we give Dr. Aji Sani OON. Amazing individual, amazing personality.
Her passion, her commitment, and the way she commits to everything will almost want to make you feel very emotional. Let's put our hands together one more time for Dr. Hajo Sani. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping, as it were. Let me quickly invite her.
Viewers, you are still on to the services of the Nigerian Television Authority. Before the remarks of the author of the book, you have been watching some couples of documentaries summarizing the activities of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, through the Future Assured Program, an Aisha Buhari Foundation within the country and globally. We also had the remarks of the chairman of the occasion and the leader and the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he identified himself with the achievement of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and assured her of his full support at all times For her to succeed, in her passion of uplifting the lives of women, children, and youth in Nigeria. Let's continue.
Aisha Buhari Being Different, authored by Dr. Hajos Sani, OON. But before I proceed, Your Excellency sirs, kindly permit me to refresh our minds on what is expected of a book reviewer. This will allow me to set out briefly my mandate and outline on the basis of which I can be assessed. Generally speaking, a book reviewer is expected to provide, 1, a clear summary of the book, 2, an evaluation of the book and hopefully catalyze further reflections on the book, and 3, make recommendations on the basis of the content of the book. This brings me to the subject matter, Aisha Buhari Being Different. At first sight, a prospective reader will find that writer being different intriguing. And one may ask, being different? Different from what? How different is she? What does it really mean to be different? And why is she different? These and many more questions are likely to preoccupy a potential reader's mind at a glance. Dr. Hajos Sani, a distinguished writer, former Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development with several years of experience in development practice, an astute administrator and policy analyst, drew on her wide repertoire of experiences as a frontline participant observer with more than 30 years of close association with the First Family to address these questions and many more with compelling pool of logically sequenced textual and pictorial evidence. This brings me to the summary of the book. The first 61-page piece is divided into 3 sections, comprising of 10 chapters. The author adopted a distinctive style that is not only inviting, but captivating. Each chapter begins with a powerful philosophical quotation that describes the theme of the chapter, followed by a rich content and a collection of pictorial evidence that illuminates the narrative in the chapter. Section 1 covers Her Excellency's childhood, education, and motherhood, beginning with chapter 1, where the author gave a detailed account of Her Excellency's birth history. Her education and career was the focus in chapter 2, while her marriage and motherhood are the focus of chapter 3. In chapter 3, the case of Her Excellency's unique capacity to balance many competing interests is illustrated and exemplifies the plight of the girl child, particularly in culturally conservative contexts. It shows how a woman can be adept at juggling many balls without dropping any. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let us appreciate the ingenuity of Her Excellency. Section 2 covers her public life and service to the nation. It starts with chapter 4, where the author described what the author described as the long way to politics, campaign, and elections. All through 2003, 2007, and 2011, when all hope appeared to have been lost, she stood steadily by her husband. And this culminated in the critical juncture, the 2015 elections, and of course, 2019. This is followed by a vivid description of her personality style as the wife of the president and first lady in chapter 5. This chapter is of particular interest, and I think there is need for further theoretical and empirical reflection on first ladies and first ladyship. Since the author, Dr. Hajo Sani, is a trailblazer in this area, one can only encourage her to keep soaring higher in putting out more knowledge. There is still so much that the public needs to know and learn. Teachers, journalists, politicians, decision makers, traditional rulers, and religious leaders, everyone, all of us, still need more knowledge and understanding of what the phenomenon of first ladies and first ladyship as institutions really mean. In chapter 6, the author invites us into First Lady Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari's world of philanthropy, development facilitation, and humanitarian interventions. The chapter chronicles very clearly the emergence of the Aisha Buhari Foundation as the vehicle for Future Assured and other life-changing initiatives in healthcare, education, women's economic empowerment, as well as humanitarian aid, children and women's rights protection, and so on. This multi-pronged program is different from other previous PET projects. Rather than rely on government funding, it follows an innovative path of building local, national, and international partnerships in designing, funding, and delivery of life-changing interventions. Hence, sustainability is built into the program ab initio. Then chapter 7. This chapter x-rays First Lady's exploits on the global stage at international conferences, as shown by the long list of awards and recognitions that she has attracted, and her role in regional diplomacy. This takes us to section 3, which is dedicated to First Lady's humanitarian activities and role modeling. In chapter 8, the author gets conceptual and theoretical. She takes her readers on an excursion into the evolution of the institution of first ladyship globally, then situating it in the Nigerian context while tracing the emergence through various regimes down to the present day. Chapter 9 is poignantly titled, Setting the Agenda for the Empowerment of Women. The author used the case of Future Assured to illustrate how Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari used her pet projects to empower millions of women in urban and rural communities across the country. Then, chapter 10, the last chapter. It's titled, Challenges and Way Forward. It takes the reader into the generic and contextual barriers to the institutionalization of first ladyship and what needs to be done about it. This brings me to the next goal, which is evaluation, beginning with the strength of the book. Number 1, only few writers can put together such a compelling piece based on primary data collected for over 3 decades as participant observer at a close range. This will leave even traditional ethnographers green with envy. Number 2, the author's background as a frontline practitioner, advocate of gender justice, former Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, a development worker, an accomplished researcher on women empowerment, women and national development, first ladyship, and gender rights, is reflected in the deeply analytical content of the book. Number 3, the logical sequencing of the chapters and the vivid chronological layout of the events makes it read easy for the readers to connect the dots. And finally, the boldness, number 4, the boldness with which the author took on complex and controversial issues give the reader the unique opportunity to learn different perspectives on issues that were mostly misunderstood in public discourse. Any weakness? Well, all I can say to the author is that the reward for a good work is more work. Please, Dr. Hajo Sani, we still need to learn more, and future generations will appreciate additional documentation, especially on the innovations that Her Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has brought into the institution of First Ladyship, which sets her apart as truly being different. Then, what is the big picture? In other words, what are the lessons that we can learn from the book, Aisha Buhari Being Different? I compress them into 3. Number 1, from birth, the odds are stacked against the girl child. Growing up in a conservative cultural environment accentuates the odds for the girl child. Being different, therefore, entails a delicate balancing act involving early marriage, education, motherhood, career advancement, and personal fulfillment. Her Excellency successfully juggled these balls and many more without dropping any of them. Number 2, there is very low public understanding and appreciation of what it really feels being the spouse of a public figure or a woman in public life. This breeds disproportionately toxic criticisms that are not only unfounded, but also unfair. But is this typical of Nigeria? Well, the answer is no. Hear what Hillary Clinton, former United States First Lady, has to say while giving account of her experience in the White House. I quote, "Like it or not, women are always subject to criticism if they show too much feeling in public." But she's not alone. Similarly, and more recently, Michelle Obama, in her book, Becoming, described her own experience of public criticism thus, and I quote, "Since stepping reluctantly into public life, I've been held up as the most powerful woman in the world and taken down as an angry black woman. I've wanted to ask my distractors which part of that phrase matters to them most. Is it angry or black or woman? I've smiled for photos with people who call my husband horrible names on national television. I have been hurt. I have been furious. But mostly, I've tried to laugh those stuff off." The third lesson and final one, and this is for all of us, in our boardrooms, in our classrooms, in meeting rooms, indeed, any room at all, most importantly, in the newsrooms. Gender blindness, insensitivity, injustice, and iniquity are more pervasive and have far-reaching consequences than we can ever imagine. I will conclude this review by drawing our attention to the fact that the author of Aisha Buhari Being Different has convincingly shown that Her Excellency, the First Lady, is indeed different in every respect. Indeed, positively different. Please let's appreciate her. The question is, when it comes to acknowledging our own biases, our prejudices, and wrongly conceived notion of who a woman is and her role as a leader in the society, are we ready to be different? Are we ready to adjust our minds, decisions, and action? Are we ready? This brings me to the end of my presentation. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you all.
This professor is different. He kept to time and made it 10 minutes for 10 minutes. No wonder he's sitting beside the former APC chairman, who also keeps to time anytime he speaks. Please join me as I welcome here, Comrade Adam Soshomole. I welcome you, sir. I welcome you. Also here are the representatives of the Chief of Air Staff, AVM I.Y. Mohammed, representative of the Chief of Naval Staff, Captain F.M. Shuleba. I welcome you. And earlier, while I was thanking Excellencies, the governors that were here, I missed His Excellency Governor Adegboyega Oyetola Ilerioluwa of Osun State. Your Excellency, we are also very, very grateful. Thank you. Now the time to call out our presenters. The concept is that they all come out here and then address us 1 minute or 2 minutes maximum apiece in presentation of the book. Representing Alhaji Aliko Dangote, let me welcome here Mrs. Fatima Wali. Let's appreciate them as they come. Abdul Samad Rabiu is represented by Dr. E.D. Hong. Prince Arthur Eze is represented by Brigadier General I.U. Babangida. And she's here in person, Mrs. Bola Shagaya. Mohammed Indimi, I don't know if there's a representative here. Kesinti Nadibutu, Dr. Kola Oyefeso. Distinguished Senator Daisy Danjuma is represented by Mrs. Aisha Rimi. Captain Idahosa Wells is represented by the daughter, Mrs. Evie Idahosa Emiko. And then Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija is represented by Mrs. Iyabo Olorun Tola. And so we will kick off from the people who are close to me here. Sir?
Are you starting from the list? We have been asked to observe the existing protocols of non-existing protocol. I stand here on behalf of Sir Kesinti Adebutu, who at nearer 90 than 80 could not be here, but I'm here standing in for him. He asked me to apologize profusely to Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, and he has asked me to present this book by recognizing her candor, the formidability behind the power that be. And I don't know where to start from. I've been asked to match previous donors, but I've been called primarily. Mr. MC, you are not being fair to me. Mr. MC, you are not being fair to me. I'm here to match previous donor. Pardon? I can inspire them. If I'm to inspire, I've been inspiring the other donors with a sum of 25 million naira as the starting point. Thank you.
Maybe you won't leave us. Can we have copies of the books for all our presenters here, please? Can we have copies of the books for all our presenters? Okay. All right, so the presenters will need to come around the book stand here, please, to unveil it. Let's come closer to it. Let's just note that some pledge forms are going around the hall. We have a bank or banks in the hall. We also have POS machine where you can make your donations either through POS or through cash. At the right flank of the hall, my right from here, we have the POS machines. So the presenters have started with the least amount of 25 million. Can we invite the chairman of the occasion to also join them here, the presenters, and let's give him a copy of the book.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause to our presenters. We are moving the microphone now to the Jagaban of Borgu, who is the chairman of today's occasion, to please do the needful. We've started with just 25 million. So let's get it done, sir. Humbly, sir, I'd like to hand the microphone over to you. Yes, sir.
They've done it to 25 million. Okay. 20 million.
Well, the chairman has matched that up with 20 million. A round of applause for him. And the Bere will now take the microphone across to our presenters. Chairman has given 20 million for a copy of the book, Aisha Buhari, Be Different. I'll move on now to representative of Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm here representing Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He suddenly had to call an emergency board meeting, and he called me very late last night and asked me to represent him. Unfortunately, he didn't give me a figure. I guess he will be communicating that directly. So please excuse me.
Well, I'll hand over to my sister. And Ebola, again publicly, thank you for what you did at my book launch. So let's hear what you are doing here.
Your Excellencies, on behalf of my company, Procter Limited, and myself, I am purchasing 10 copies for 10 million.
10 copies for 10 million. Thank you. I think she needs and deserves a round of applause. Right. Former Minister, representing Alhaji Abdul Samad, Dr. Idihong, let's hear from you.
Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Your Excellency, the First Lady, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
I'm here representing Abdul Samad Rabiu, who have asked me to stand in for him and launch the book for 20 copies at the cost of 25 million naira. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're moving on to a wonderful daughter who is representing her father and also representing the wife of the new Olu of Warri. Oh, she's the wife. Oh, Your Royal Highness, should have told me that. She's also the wife of the new Olu of Warri designate. So we have your Princess, Queen in the Making, Ivy Emiko. Yes, thank you.
Your Excellencies, good afternoon. I'm here representing my father, and he instructed that we donate 20 million to the book. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. 20 million. Thank you so very much. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellency, the First Lady, very distinguished dignitaries here present. I'm representing Prince Arthur Eze, and I'm presenting this book with the sum of 10 million. Thank you.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. I'm representing Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, and in her usual line of practice, she wouldn't like to mention her donation, but she has sent me to give something to support. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, all protocols duly observed. I'm here representing Alhaji Dr. Mohammed Indimi, and we're donating the sum of 20 million naira. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. All protocols observed. I'm here representing Her Excellency Senator Daisy Danjuma, and she is supporting this laudable project, but she has asked that her donation remain undisclosed at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tony Chukwu is also here represented.
I'm here to represent Chief Tony Chukwu, Chairman, Udo Nigeria Limited, who has asked me to launch the book with 10 million naira.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have the children of the woman that we're celebrating here, and they have very short comments to make. Let me first welcome here Hajia Hadiza Buhari to please step forward here and say all the beautiful things about a mother that has become the mother of the nation.
Director of Service Chief Staff.
Okay, these are what is on me.
I am Halima, I'm actually a secretary.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Your Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, Mommy, Your Excellency, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, our national leader, former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Your Excellency, wife of the Vice President, Your Excellencies, executive governors, First Ladies present, our royal fathers present, His Eminence Sultan of Sokoto, His Royal Highness Oni of Ife, honorable ministers present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol. In a hadith or tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Abu Huraira reported that the Prophet was asked, Messenger of Allah, to whom should I be dutiful? Your mother, the Messenger of Allah replied. Then whom? He asked again. Your mother. Then whom? Your mother, he replied. Then he asked again, then whom? He replied, your father. This hadith signifies the value and worth with which mothers are recognized and how mothers should be treated by their children. I am one such child that loves and adores my mother. And this does not end with our biological relationship, but with the responsibility she has taken to ensure that I and my siblings turn out socially malleable, and useful both to ourselves and to our immediate and larger society. Being different, the title alone brings light to the personality. Mommy, you wear your heart on your sleeves, and that personality has shaped us all around you, not just your children. The name Aisha, as we know in Islam, holds a significant place. Being the favorite wife of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, she's a scholar and a mother to the Ummah. Mommy once told me, fortunately, my first daughter's name is Aisha. So Mommy once told me, Halima, the name Aisha carries with it a lot of trials. I am an example. And I told her, Mommy, I wish I could name every one of my daughters Aisha over and over and over again. Her motherhood spirit embodies warmth to all those that she comes in contact with, not to mention the discipline. I have a story to tell. Yusuf was once serving himself food, and he mounted so much food on his plate. Mommy came in and said, Yusuf, Annabi ya hana. Literally telling him the food is too much, reduce it. So this is the discipline we got, even regarding food portions. She has the capacity to reach out to those who are down on their luck and transform their problems to blessings. She has the incredible gift to include all and thinking of all almost at the same time. Mommy, I don't know how you do it, but you just do it. Today we have a chance to look back and say thank you for your love, for the stress of our upbringing, and for the times we denied you sleep. We also thank you for being the mother, not just to us, but to our great nation, Nigeria. To our dear Auntie Hajo, Dr. Hajo Sani, our mother, our auntie, our problem solver. Auntie, I don't know how you do what you do as well, handling office, mommy, and us, your children, and many grandchildren. We love you dearly. We thank you for recording the great strides of our mother, not just as a first lady, but as a wife and as a mother. Thank you all for sharing this important day with us. We are truly grateful, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
And God bless you, Barrister Halima Buhari, for being such an amazing daughter. Thank you very much. Let me welcome here Honorable Engineer Emeka Nsofo, representing Chairman of Dozie Oil and Gas. And I want to say a very special thank you to all the representatives of the service chiefs that are here, their wives that are here, Minister of State for Transport, Minister of State for Works, and Minister of Labor. And let me quickly also announce that we have the price for the books. The hardcover is 30,000 naira. The soft cover is 25. We already have the pledge forms around. Please fill them and let the ushers return to the masters of ceremony. The representative of Dangote Group just announced to us very privately that the Dangote president will be buying a few copies for 30 million naira. All of the presenters that have bought 10, 20 copies of the book, before you leave today, you have all the copies of the book that you have paid for. Thank you very much. Let me now welcome Mrs. Muji Makonjola.
Thank you very much. We can assure you that you will get your copies in full before you leave. And please write legibly so that we can read on the pledge forms and be able to get back to you. I'd like also to recognize that we have with us representing the Minister of State for Petroleum, the Permanent Secretary in the office. You're welcome, and thank you for being part of today's historic moment. Well, Nigerian women are on the move. We're on the move for inclusion in governance. We're on the move to stop gender-based violence. We're in the move to create a Nigeria where everyone will enjoy the goodness of this God-given land. And so, I'd like to invite the Minister of Women Affairs, former Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Dame Pauline Tanel, OFR, to please give her remarks. Can we welcome her warmly?
Thank you. Your Excellency, a great mother par excellence, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, the woman of the moment. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, the wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Dolapo Osibanjo, the national leader of our great party and chairman of the occasion, Tinubu Asiwaju, we salute you. The chairman of the Governors Forum, my dear brother Femi of Ekiti State, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, my own governor, Barrister Lalong, and all the governors here present. I want to, in a very special way, acknowledge the Senate President, ably represented by the Deputy Senate President, a true he for she. The chairman of our great party and governor of Yobe State, all other governors here present. I want to especially acknowledge all ministers that are here. I see my dear sister, the Minister of State, Transport, the Minister of State, Health, and all others that were able to make it despite the national assignment before us. Our royal father, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the Oni of Ife, and all our royal fathers here present. I can see His Royal Highness Apollos Chu, and all eminent Nigerians gathered here today. I want to specially celebrate our dear uncle, Professor Abdullahi Abba, representing the First Lady's family, and all siblings of the First Family, captains of industries, all presenters that have presented this book and supported us. I thank you all and celebrate you. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, I want to use my dear sister Bola Shagaya as a point of contact to all the great Nigerian women gathered here. I celebrate all the beautiful Nigerian women that have taken time to come and celebrate our dear mother, the First Lady. I also acknowledge all female state commissioners that are here. I thank you all. I wish I can acknowledge each one of you for your presence at this very, very important celebration where we are celebrating our own. In a very special way, I acknowledge the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, my big brother, Professor Gambari. I am most delighted to present the closing remarks at this epoch-making event to mark the presentation of the book titled Aisha Buhari Being Different, which is authored by my own dear sister, Dr. Hajo Sani. Let me begin by commending the author of this book for exposing the exceptional personality of our dear First Lady, Her Excellency Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and documenting achievements as a result of her humanitarian activities that affected positively the lives of so many Nigerians through her Future Assured programs under the Aisha Buhari Foundation. Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, indeed Nigeria is blessed to have the First Lady in the person of Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari at this time, who has the belief that every social index can be influenced for the good of all, especially in the area of health, education, and economic status of the populations which needs, and she is making every effort that everyone should lend a helping hand to make everyone in the country, particularly the vulnerable, to make them have a sense of belonging and be happy as Nigerians. We have no future without our children, and her philanthropic efforts in supporting women, the vulnerable, and children is simply unprecedented. We celebrate you for your selfless service to humanity, especially the vulnerable in our society. You have always stand out, and that's why this book is titled Aisha Buhari Being Different. We are all different, but you are different in a very special way. May God continue to give you good health, the strength and the courage to speak out for the voiceless and the vulnerable. Through your humanitarian pursuit, you have continuously engaged government, development partners, and the private sector and other critical stakeholders in areas of requiring concerted efforts to ensure the improvement of the situation of our citizens. This has given rise to a renewed commitment to address the emerging trends on the role of First Lady as a credible resource in Nigeria's development of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As the national machinery for the advancement of women and children in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs appreciates your support in the achievements of our mandate. As we continue to demand for increase in the participation of more women in public and private spheres of our Nigerian economy, I'm confident that our First Lady will continue to raise the bar in the ongoing advocacy. Some of the women's demands, including institutional justice and fairness for women, children, and the vulnerable in our society. On this note, I want to once again congratulate you for your doggedness and your courage. I want to also celebrate you for your giant strides in making a difference in the lives of the less privileged and representing the voice of the voiceless in our country, especially through the Future Assured program and they get involved. You have stood out to touch the lives of the vulnerable. You have been a champion of the voiceless, and your passion for the vulnerable is unprecedented. You are a mother par excellence, a mother that feels the pains and passion of the less privileged. You have touched so many lives, and my prayer for you is that may God continue to give you good health, strength, and the courage to do more for Nigerians, especially women and children. I thank you all for coming out en masse to support this very, very laudable program of celebrating Aisha Muhammadu Buhari being different. God bless you, and God continue to give you good health as you stand out different for the voiceless. Thank you.
Okay. Viewers, if you are just joining, this is the book.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you are just joining, this is the book presentation of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, Being Different. Authored by Dr. Hajo Sani, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration.
Okay, while they are
and it's being presented to the general public by prominent Nigerians. And the next the presentation or remark by the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo.
First Lady of Anambra State, Her Excellency Relu Bisi Fayemi, First Lady of Ekiti State, Her Excellency Chief Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, First Lady of Osun State, Her Excellency Hajia Lami Amadu Umaru Fintri, First Lady of Adamawa State, Her Excellency Hajia Zakia Aminu Masari, First Lady Katsina State, Her Excellency Ambassador Olufolake Abdurazak, First Lady Kwara State, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Amina Sani Bello, First Lady Niger State, Her Excellency Dr. Zena Bagudu, First Lady Kebbi State, Her Excellency Mrs. Gloria Diri, First Lady Bayelsa State, Her Excellency Regina Simon Lalong Dako, First Lady Plateau State, Her Excellency Hajia Mejia Badar Abubakar, Her Excellency Chioma Uzodinma, First Lady Imo State, Her Excellency Majia Badaru Abubakar, First Lady Jigawa State, Her Excellency Dr. Betsy Obaseki, First Lady Edo State, Her Excellency Hadiza Isma El-Rufai, First Lady Kaduna State, Her Excellency Mrs. Amina Oyiza Bello, First Lady Kogi State, Her Excellency Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, First Lady Ogun State, Her Excellency Dr. Fatmata Babagana Umara Zulum, First Lady Borno State, Her Excellency Mrs. Aisha Bello Matawale, First Lady Zamfara State, and Her Excellency Dr. Linda Ayade, Cross River State First Lady. We welcome all of these amazing women that are here. Let me also say thank you to Longreach, Mr. Jia Gnan, President International Market, and Mrs. Titi Ejimagwa, Director Africa Longreach. They have given a donation of 10 million naira. I'd like to welcome this one more time, the representative of the Chief of Air Staff, AVM I.Y. Mohammed, and the representative of the Chief of Naval Staff, Captain F.M. Sulibo. And also here with us, we have Honorable Abdike Dabiri Erewa, Chairman and CEO of NITCOM, and of course, the Managing Director of NPA, Hadiza Balakman. Welcome all of you. Rotimi Amechi, representing her husband, the Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, Honorable Minister for Transportation. Mrs. Mojima Konjola is here to handle the next activity, which is actually the cake.
Thank you very much, Barry. At this moment, I'd just like all of us to appreciate each other, you know, just give yourself a good smile or a good kick, elbow kick, in the spirit of COVID-19. Having said that, everyone here is important, and we'll try as much as possible to announce. I have here 10 million for 10 copies of the book. Alhaji Nasiru Dan Amana, Dutse Chairman, yes. We would continue with the launch, but at this time, Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the First Lady, Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, they are giving me an general announcement. Excellencies all, very
is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by
humbly the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Oshibajo, who would address us now. Your Excellency, sir, thank you for finding time to be part of this historic moment. Thank you, Nigerians, for according the respect to him and that office. We will now listen.
Thank you very much. Please. Of this occasion, and nationally, party, the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Honorary First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Dr. Aisha Buhari, Your Excellencies, Governors present, led by the Chair of the Governors Forum, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, the Deputy Senate President, and all distinguished and honorable members of the National Assembly present, members of the Federal Executive Council, the Chief of Staff, all their Excellencies, First Ladies of the various states, Royal Fathers present, led by their Royal Highnesses, the Oni of Ife and the Sultan of Sokoto, my dear wife, Her Excellency Dolly Oshimbajo, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Hajo Sani has written a most engaging book on an incredibly fascinating person, Her Excellency Aisha Buhari, Nigeria's First Lady. It's unlikely that any First Lady in Nigeria's history has, in such a few short years, captured the imagination of Nigerians as profoundly as Aisha Buhari. She's, of course, the First Lady to be on Twitter, on Instagram, and other social media platforms, getting her unfiltered views across to the Nigerian people. And she's probably the first to receive in real time the opinions of Nigerians on her views. With her views forthright, crisp, truthful, and once in a while controversial, she has established an ongoing conversation with the Nigerian people. The issues that concern them most, the issues that concern us the most, good governance, security, putting food on the table, the education of our children, prompt payment of pensions to army veterans, drug abuse, the violation and victimization of women. And every once in a while, she airs her own personal struggles, her annoyance, in a manner probably unprecedented in the role of a First Lady anywhere. But there is no question that Aisha Buhari is different. Her difference has been empowering for the Nigerian people. And there is never any question that her comments come from a good place, a place of genuine love and respect for the Nigerian people and our several concerns. Hajo Sani's book seeks to document the practical work that she's also done in the past 5 years. But it begins with a detailed and, I must say, sensitive chronicle of her childhood years and her growth as a woman, a wife, and a mother. It also highlights her evolution from a silent supporter of her husband's political adventures to an active mobilizer and campaigner who played a major role in selling him to the Nigerian electorate. Then we also read in the book how, as First Lady, she founded the Future Assured initiative, which promotes the welfare of women, of youth, and children, driven by the Aisha Buhari Foundation. The Future Assured initiative is inspired by her conviction that empowering women is a direct way of promoting the economic and social progress of a nation. We're also given a good picture of this steadfast advocate of women's health issues and improved access to health care for women, especially in respect of mental health, with the aim of reducing maternal mortality, particularly in rural communities. We understand the roots of her relentless pursuit in these past years of the empowerment of women, especially through education, the need for young girls to get primary and secondary education before getting married. We understand her stand that no girl should get married before the age of 17. It is from her own experience of being married at 19 and her single-mindedness and determination in ensuring that her educational pursuits were not aborted by her obligations as a wife and mother. We also get a glimpse of the role she considers primary, being, to borrow the expression, mom-in-chief to Halima, to Yusuf, to Zara, to Hanan, and Chuchu, and now many grandchildren. Her personal attention to the lives of her children, each and every one of them, and her fierce protection of their privacy and individuality is a lesson in bringing up children under the scrutiny of a sometimes mischievous press. Perhaps because of the undefined nature of their positions, and it was Michelle Obama who said famously that there is no handbook on how to be a first lady. And sometimes the uncertain impact of their roles on the affairs of state, first ladies may quickly fade into obscurity when the curtains of time are drawn on the tenure of the administration of their husbands. The result is that the records and lessons of consequence that could benefit oncoming generations and enrich our understanding of history are regrettably lost. But it's unlikely that Aisha Buhari would ever be forgotten. And even if there was a chance of this happening, this well-written attempt to document her life and times and her contributions as First Lady to national life through the causes that she has promoted removes that possibility. So the author, Dr. Hajo Sani, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs, deserves our commendation for the publication of this very important addition to the literary canon on our public life, and also to Nigeria's biographical history. History has shown that it doesn't matter how many degrees you have, or how many titles precede or honors follow your name, or how high the position you hold, the rare privilege of public service can only be justified by courage, integrity, and selflessness. To these, Aisha Buhari adds, being yourself, being different. Let me end with the words of Aisha Buhari's doting sweetheart, the man who knows her best, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and I quote him, Aisha, as the world has come to know her, is kind-hearted. This made her transition to philanthropy and humanitarianism easy. When she became First Lady, her protective mien was exerted when women, children, and other vulnerable people are abused. I've observed with keen interest as she addresses many of the social concerns that have given her sleepless nights. She has therefore been a worthy partner and a beacon for some of the good things that Nigerians have come to identify with our government. End of quote. And I concur. I agree. Thank you all very much. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you, Aisha Buhari, Excellency, First Lady of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, as always. Shall we please all? No. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President. Just when the program was going on, I was informed that the children of our celebrant today has turned 50. In fact, she became 50 on the 17th of February 2021. And so the children put this together as a surprise for today's event. But I've been reliably informed that in her usual way of doing things differently, she has asked that her children that are around here, please, can the children come round to this beautiful cake that you've put together for your mom? Gold, I can see plenty of gold on it, and of course, loads of white, which represents love, and of course, the sincerity of purpose. Gold, we know, is valuable. So the children are here representing her. Bless you all. The children are going to be, yes, and the in-laws. May I also invite to assist the children? I would call on the Minister of Women Affairs. I'd like to invite our previous mothers of the nation, Your Excellency, ma'ams. Okay, I'd like to invite Mama Peace to please join us. I'd like to invite the wife of the chairman of Governors Forum, Erelu. Please, can you join us here? May I please invite, because we are very gender sensitive, can I invite please that we have with us our chairman of the occasion. Can we please invite, help me people, the representative of the Senate President. Okay. I've been told that all of you that I've mentioned should please watch as these children cut the cake on behalf of their mother and on behalf of the nation. All right, can we have you take the knife? Are you all going to help me? I'm now going to invite the VP's wife, Her Excellency, to please officiate the cutting of this cake. Please, ma'am, Your Excellency, ma'am. So hold it. Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I believe they will cut the cake as we all say what the title of the book is, because that's why we're here. So shall we want to go? Aisha Buhari, being different. Shall we all? Aisha Buhari, being different.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please take your seats.
Thank you very much. wonderful children. Let me welcome here, we will miss it earlier, Dr. Mrs. Ibironke Sanwo-Olu, First Lady Lagos State, and her wonderful sister, Mrs. Oluremi Hamzat, wife of the Deputy Governor of Lagos State. They are here with all the powers and all the class and all the glamour of Lagos State. And also here, let me welcome Her Excellency Rashida Yaya Bello and Gombe State First Lady Asmao Inba Yaya. I welcome from the House of Representatives, Honorable Barrister Nkiruka Onyejocha, Deputy Chief Whip. They are buying a few copies for 5 million naira. Dr. Harvard Wigwe, MD Access Bank, 15 copies of the book for 15 million naira. Let me recognize here Her Excellency Mrs. Timipri Silva, who is here. Ms. Sharon Kelso, Minister of State for Environment, is here. I'd like to say thank you to Alhaji Nasiru Dano Dan Amana Dutse, Chairman, Lubric Construction, buying 10 copies of the book for 10 million naira. Dr. Samuel Cornelius is buying a few copies of the book for 1 million naira. And Honorable Engineer H.C. Nsofo of Dozie Group, representing the chairman of Dozie Group, Sir Dr. Daniel Chukwudozie, is buying a few copies for 10 million naira. I'd like to also recognize here a former minister, in fact, 2 times, she was Minister for Industry. Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde is here with us. We'd like to say thank you for coming and you're welcome. And so, Your Excellencies, okay. I understand the representative of the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President he wants to also make some. Your Excellency, please, we welcome you.
Thank you very much. I have the mandate of the President of the Senate, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, to pick up 109 copies of this book for an amount undisclosed, by which we will redeem in no time. Let me also just say that the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Honorable Idris Wase, is also unavoidably absent, but he has also requested purchases also on his behalf, which amount remains also undisclosed, but which he has also promised to redeem in no time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Engineer David Umahi, on behalf of the Ebonyi State Government, is also buying a few copies for an undisclosed amount. Adama Community Association are also buying 4 copies for 100,000 naira. Aminu Umar Lagos buying a few copies for 1 million naira. Abdul Kabir Adisa Aliyu, Matrix Energy Limited, a few copies for 5 million naira. And so, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome here Professor Abdullahi Abba for the thanks. Professor Abdullahi Abba will soon finish. Can we set? Can we soon finish?
Wassalatu wassalam. Vice President of Nigeria, his wife, Her Excellency, the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, governors here present and their wives, and the wives that are present without their governors, the chairman of the occasion, Chief of Staff to the President, and members of the National Assembly and the Federal Executive Council, particularly the Minister for Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, Royal Fathers present, heads of departments and agencies, invited dignitaries, and all members of the larger family. I thank you all for taking time to come for this great occasion. I appreciate on behalf of the family all your presence and your support, and wish and also feel that it is a show of...
Please, let's take our seats. This event is not over. Please. This event is not over. Can we take our seats, please?
To thank the author, who is, I don't know whether it was her duty to write this book, because she has been so close. They've been close for over 30 years, as you can see from the pictures that were projected. And but in particular, I would like to thank her for the extreme energy she put in and the research she got into put all written there to make it factual. Some of the things that were related earlier in another publication were patently false, which she corrected. I think that should be noted. She projected the First Lady as she is. She projected her as a woman with compassion, with empathy, who is honest, who has integrity, and who has a large heart and capable of sacrifice. She has always been out to help people who are disadvantaged in one way or the other, as has been demonstrated in all her activities. She is a team player.
Please, let's settle down, please. Let's have one house, please.
She is a team player. As you can see, she's wearing the same mask as the Vice President's wife. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming. We wish you all safe journey back to your places. We hope that you go back to your families in good health and continue the good work, continue on the project that she has been doing over the last few years. Thank you.
Let me quickly correct the name of the governor, wife of the governor of Anambra State, Ebelechukwu Vicky Obiano. We thank you very much. Let me also welcome here His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Goswill Akpabio, and his wife, Mrs. Ekaite Unoma Akpabio. They are here. Yes, Honorable Minister of Niger Delta. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my colleague, Mrs. Mojima Konjola, I thank you all for being an amazing audience. Shall we all rise now for the national anthem?
titled Aisha Buhari Being Different. The book is authored by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration, Dr. Josani. Hope you enjoy the program. On behalf of the OB